Be sure to subscribe for more content.
What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel, and I hope you're having a very lovely day. So in today's video, we're going to be talking all about Luna Classic and what has happened to it recently. Of course, yesterday, if you have been watching the charts, we saw this 35% pump happen just seemingly out of nowhere. Of course, if we zoom out on Luna Classic, we can see that it's really broken that downtrend that Luna Classic has really been in since September 2022. So of course, we're going to talk about what has happened here, what we can expect in the future for Luna Classic, and most importantly, my price predictions here. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. So first of all, let's talk about why Luna Classic did this nice 36% pump that it did yesterday. Now, this had all to do with the fact that the Luna community has come through with a new proposal. So we can go on the website and we can see that they've put a proposal to do a few new things for the Luna Classic chain. So things like giving the validators of the Luna Classic chain more commission and adding smart contract capability to Luna Classic. Of course, that's going to add more use cases to Luna Classic, and that should generally be bullish for the price. Now, the most important date for this to look out for is June the 14th. We can see June the 14th is the date that this will go into action if it does get approved. And of course, the deadline for getting it approved is June the 7th. So in 2 days, basically, we'll find out whether this goes through or not. Of course, if it does go through, I do expect the price to be bullish here on Luna Classic. If it doesn't go through, then that's going to be fairly bearish. So we've got 2 dates in mind, June the 7th and June the 14th. What's really good right now about Luna Classic, in my opinion, is that this 35% pump has actually brought a lot of eyeballs back onto Luna Classic. As we said, the price has just been going in some general downtrend. You can see the volume down here. It's been getting less and less and less, you know, as people are moving on to other chains and kind of trading the price action over there as opposed to just holding on for dear life here on Luna Classic. But the fact that there is some life in Luna Classic, the fact that we saw this nice pump yesterday means that there is more attention on Luna. We saw hashtag LUNC trending on Twitter yesterday with over 2 million tweets, so that's really good to see. It means that people haven't forgotten about Luna Classic. Of course, going forward in terms of where I think the price could go to, actually what I'm seeing right now here on Luna Classic actually kind of reminds me of what happened back in 2022 here on Luna Classic. I'm going to take you to the pump that we saw in August and September here, and notice how it was kind of staged. So generally we saw this massive uptrend here on Luna Classic, but there were several levels to it. So we can see that the first level started in August, and notice how this pump here was around 35% as well. We went up 35% and we just spent a few days kind of at that level, just not doing all too much. And then all of a sudden we saw this next pump here, which took Luna Classic up around 130%. So we could be seeing something like this. Of course, at the moment we're hovering around this level here. We're still about 20% up from where the price was, which is still good to see. But generally, we're going to probably hover around this level over the next few days. And when June the 7th comes, now we've got more eyeballs here on Luna Classic. Obviously, the volumes come up. There's more attention on Luna Classic. And where do I think Luna Classic is going to shoot up to on June the 7th? Well, this depends. Of course, our first level of resistance here for Luna Classic is going to be around this level. So this is around 13.5 cents. There's obviously a lot of price action here, and this just means that there's a lot of buyers and sellers in this level. So of course, anyone buying kind of at this level, which is the same as this level over here, are going to be breaking even. Now, just by investor psychology, if we get to this level, we should see quite a bit of resistance because some investors here on Luna Classic are no longer in a loss. They're going to be breaking even, and so I do think this area is going to be quite a bit of a resistance here for Luna Classic. However, if it's really good news, it's taken very well, and we're easily sliding through this area, then we've got quite a bit of a way to go up, in my opinion. This is going to be another major level here because for the same reason we can see there's a lot of price action in this area. Probably a lot of people bought Luna Classic in this area who are holding still onto Luna Classic, taking a loss, all of a sudden seeing their balance go to break even. So this, in my opinion, is going to be another big area where we're going to see quite a bit of resistance. So of course the first level that we've got at the moment, that is around 23% in the upwards direction. That's hovering at around 12.5 cents there, and if we're able to break through that first level, then we could see a 70-ish% pump here on Luna Classic. My price is going to be around 16 to 17 cents, anywhere in this general region, because of course we've got a lot of price action previously here on Luna Classic. So that's kind of really what I'm eyeing here over the next several days, of course, with what's coming on June the 7th. Of course, some other price targets that I'm potentially looking at have to do with the fib levels that we have here. So basically, if we draw the fib from the bottom of the pump to the top of the pump, this gives us some good ideas where we could potentially see some resistances. So of course, it's interesting to see that we've got two important fib levels right in this area of resistance here where the price is. One fib level at the moment is hovering at 12.3, another one hovering at 12.6. So I'm going to be adding quite a bit of weight to these two if the price does manage to shoot up. Of course, if there is bad news from this proposal, so June the 7th, for example, people are not happy with the outcome, then these are the fib levels that I'm going to be watching here on Luna Classic. Of course, if the price continues to go down past this level that we're at the moment at around 10 cents, then we could see 9.57 cents, 9.136 cents, and then quite possibly a complete retracement back down to 8.4 cents. And of course, that is the bearish case scenario. So like I say, if we do see bad news come out of this proposal, and just watching the moving averages as well, because Luna Classic has historically respected these moving averages pretty well, it's quite fascinating to see that at the moment Luna Classic on the 1-day chart is hovering between this 100-day and 50-day moving average. Look how the pump literally touched this 100-day moving average right to a T before coming back down, retracing to the 50-day moving average, and then finding some support there. So, you know, I'm keeping an eye on what the price does between these two moving averages. If we can break past this 100-day moving average, then of course, apart from this resistance zone here, we've got this 200-day moving average, which is going to be another big resistance in my opinion as well. At the moment, as you can see, that's at 14 cents. Of course, if we don't hold this 50-day moving average at 9.7 cents, then we could potentially fall a lot further as well. So quite fascinating to see that. Of course, our barrier at the moment is this 100-day moving average if we're going to want to move higher, and that's 11.4 cents. So that's kind of really what I'm watching at the moment. Of course, this pump is really good. We did break a long-term downtrend line. So if I draw something like this, for example, it's not going to look perfect, but you can see that this pump clearly took the price well above this downtrend line that we've been seeing here on Luna Classic throughout 2023, meaning that we've exited this bearish trend and we could potentially be starting on a more bullish trend going into the future here. So of course, these are the price levels that I'm really looking at here on Luna Classic, and the main dates, of course, June the 7th and June the 14th. June the 7th is when the deadline for the proposal is, and June the 14th, if the proposal goes through, that's when the upgrades are going to be made to the chain. So of course, very important dates. I do expect that if it is good news, if the proposal does go through, and that this should push the price of Luna Classic up. And I've given you the price targets that I'm looking at here. I do think the maximum upside that we do have over the course of the next few days is going to be somewhere around the 70% mark. So still quite a bit of a way to go from the price right now. Quite exciting times ahead. So that's pretty much all I have to say here. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on Luna Classic, and of course, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.